Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on the season finale of Free Eternal Summer. I can't believe we're here. I can't. This whole season has been wonderful. The first couple with season one, it took me until episode 7 to really fall in love with the show. And then after that first competition and all the angst with Rin and Haru set in, I was hooked. Pun intended. I'd like the show up until then, but after that episode 7, when we got Rin with his dad at the graveyard and everything, it was so good. And then with this season, I really loved it from start to finish. But from episode 8 on, and so many of you in the comments have been like, episode 8's my favorite in the series, episode 9's my favorite in the series, episode 10's my favorite, 11's my favorite, episode 12 is crazy, and I love it. I agree with all of you. Picking a favorite episode from episode 8 on is really hard because there's so much good with each of those episodes. And last week, what a departure in the Free world. I feel like Free's the only show that can get away with such a fanfic amazing episode because it was just Ren and Haru in Australia speaking English, sharing a bed. It was so good. But I love by the end of it that Haru seems to have come to a realization that, yes, I do love swimming this much. And it took him being on a foreign stage for him to realize that it doesn't matter what country he's in, it doesn't matter where he's at. The stage doesn't change, and he still loves swimming in that same context. And that was so good. It was so good. And it was hilarious. It was so funny. I loved it. But here we are. We're at the season finale. I'm not sad at all because we still have so much more Free stuff to cover. And I'll talk about that at the end of the episode. There's so much Free we've got left to watch. So I'm not sad. I'm really excited. I'm very curious how they're going to handle this season finale because we're coming back from them being in Australia. We still have to deal with him and Mako having their fight, which I love that he told Rin, he's like, it was our first fight. And it's like, aww. And Rin's like, me and Sosuke fight all the time. You'll be okay. So there's still that. There's still Sosuke and Haru's conversation, and I wonder if we're going to get any closure with that. There's still the fact that Iwatobi has no new members. I really thought by episode, when Kasumi came on the scene back in episode 8, I was like, oh, cool, we'll have new members. And nah, he's at a different school. So I'm curious about that. I have a feeling that at this point, maybe they're going to end Nationals and then it's going to be like a post-credit scene where they come back and they have these new people wanting to join. I don't know. It just, at this point, I'm like, are they just going to let them focus on Nationals and worry about the recruits later? Or what are we doing? And yeah, Mako's going to Tokyo to go to college, so we got to deal with that too. I'm wondering, I'm like, is Haru going to go with him to Tokyo, or what is he going to do? Because I feel like I talked about this in the last episode. Rin's got the offer to go to Australia to swim, which I don't know if he'll take it or not. I don't know. But I can't see Haru going to Australia. I feel like the language barrier was established in this last episode as being a huge hurdle. Like, Haru had no clue what people were saying. He was just like, And so I feel like it'd be too much of a hurdle for him to jump ship and go straight to Australia. But I could see him, after this last episode, maybe saying, yeah, I'll give college swimming a try. I'll give it a try. I'll let these scouts talk and see who gives me the best offer. We shall see. But in any case, guys, I've loved this season. I'm sad it's ending because I feel like it's gone by really fast. But it also has me very excited for what's to come. Very excited. So I'm just ready to get caught up with y'all so we can gush and not be spoiled. But in any case, thank you all so much for watching. And yeah, we are going to start episode 13, The Eternal Summer of Beginnings. I see you, show. I see you loud and clear. So yeah, we're going to start that here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and see you all on the other side. Oh, y'all. Oh my gosh. I can't. I can't. That was so good. That was like someone just took the biggest syringe of serotonin and sugar and sunshine and happiness and just said, "Oh, you need this?" Ah! That was so good. That was so good. That was such a good season finale. Oh, I think I like that more than last season's finale. I really do. That was, oh. So, okay. Oh, man. I don't know, y'all. If you're a Rin Haru shipper, I see you. I see you. I understand. I see it too. If you're a Mako Haru or So Rin fan, I hope you liked this episode. Man! Oh, like there's so much that was good about this. So much that was good about this. Just from start to finish. Them coming back and Haru just having that big breath of fresh air and being like and just instantly feeling better. That was so good. And oh man, I loved that. And he just came with his finger in the water, like in the forest fish swimming around it, and him like coming to terms and realizing that yes, he wants to go back and swim. He does want to do this professionally, and then of course, I wonder what other souvenirs Rin gave, because he gave Momo the boomerang, which is very fitting. But I'm like, did he give anybody else a souvenir? I can't imagine that he didn't give the other souvenirs. I mean, Notori. Freaking MVP Notori. How that boy just coming up. I wonder if Nagisa is now the captain of Iwatobi and Rei is the vice captain. That's what I would imagine. Because Nagisa kind of formed the whole group. But I'm so, like, it gives me such satisfaction as an audience viewer of this show to see Notori go from just this little timid shy guy that was just following Rin like a shadow and was just like, oh, Rin senpai, and him supporting Rin and supporting his teammates and him just coming up and working so hard this season and Sosuke helping him and mentoring him and him working so hard and showing that hard work and perseverance pays off. And then at the very end, it's like, well, who's going to be captain now? Well, of course it has to be Notori. And I love that everybody was just like, Captain Notori! And it's like, oh. And he's going to be like the serious one to whip them into shape. It's like, oh, I loved that so much. Just, so good. And then all of them realizing, and then like Haru apologizing to Mako, that scene, oh man. And then it really hit me. Because when they were all on the bridge, reminiscing, I was like, okay, well, you're going over everything that's happened the last 2 seasons, which has been a lot. And I was like, this is really sweet and this is really nice. I'm like, but why are we recapping all of this? And then, although it did reveal that everybody knew about Rin helping Rei, which I forgot that Rei didn't know that they knew, so there was that. But then what it all leads up to is when Nagisa is like, oh yeah, and so next year it's going to be even better. And then Rei and Nagisa just crying, like just full out sobbing. I'm like, oh. Because, in some shows, like, I think of Haikyuu with the third years and stuff. We see it with other teams. Everybody's crying and stuff, but it's not like, I don't feel like it's a full-blown thing. But here it's full-blown. They're like, and it wasn't the third years crying. It was the ones being left behind that were crying. And it's like, oh. And then, like, Mako and Haru are just like, oh, guys. And Mako being the parental figure is like, it's going to be okay, guys. We're going to be good. And then that relay, them all, like, connecting with one another, and then what they saw, the vision of what they saw. And I love that they tied that back to the time capsule. So the time capsule gives me hope that they'll go back and open those back up at some point in the series, and we'll get to see that. But it ties back to the ED, because in the ED, they're drawing, like, what they vision their future and everything, and it ties back to they drew their scenes of what they saw that day during the relay, and they're going to open those up at some point. I'm like, that's so cool. And them crying, and freaking Haru smiling. Haru's smiling and crying with them. It's like our emotionless dolphin showing like his feelings out loud. Ugh. And I love that Rin went back and just like they did the tradition of the the third years who can outswim me. And Rin's doing the same thing that Mikashiba did, and I'm like, oh my god, they're all like exhausted. I freaking love that. And then of course the teacher goes with Go to see them. And if you pause it, like where they're all lined up, and it looks like there's a whole group of third years retiring, including Sosuke. But if you look on there as Ren's talking to them, obviously Notori is about to tear up. But the guy next to him, next to Notori with the mohawk, he was tearing up too. The one that swam backstroke with Momo. It's like, oh, it's just so. And then Momo becoming team captain. And I'm sorry, but this moment between Sosuke and Ren at the end, where Ren's like, hey, who decided that you can't swim? Who decided you can't get your shoulder fixed? I want to swim against you again. I want to swim against you, so you find a way to fix it, okay? And then Sosuke, of course, is like, you would think that. It's like, ah! So it gives me hope that maybe Sosuke can fix his shoulder. Because Ren clearly wants to swim with him again. He wants to swim. It's like, oh my gosh. So what if it's injured? And then, yeah, and the twins, Mako's siblings being sad that he's going away and he's packed all his stuff up. And it looked like that Haru, he was like in an apartment. So like maybe they sold the house. Maybe he sold his house, or maybe he's renting it out, or his parents are renting it out. But, oh man. And they're at the airport to see him off. And then the cherry blossom pool. At first I was like, why do they have those bags over their heads? But it was them, right? It was Iwatobi, and they were all just like, now you get to see something. And then they made a cherry blossom pool for them. Just. And it looks like they have recruits. They have new people for next year. They did it. They got people to recruit. And they're going to have a team next year. And I'm so excited to see that. And I love that Haru's decided to go to school with Mako. He decided to go to the university, only he's doing the swim team at the university, and Mako, it looks like, is not. But that's going to open up so many dynamics, right? So that's going to open up a lot of things, because Mako's obviously going to be there as support because he's going to school. And I love his glasses. I was like, when did Mako have glasses? They're looking all dapper. Mako's really grown on me this season, if you can't tell. Mako and Sosuke both. But I love the idea that Haru is going to be in a new swim environment, so he's going to have to meet new people. That's going to be interesting. Haru having to meet new people, and Mako will be there obviously for support when Haru's like, I don't know what to do. And Rin's in Australia. We don't know. It looked like Sosuke, like he said he was going to do the family thing, but we're not sure. It just shows him by himself with his bags packed, where it looks like he's thinking about what he's going to be doing. And then, yeah, that preview. Now, one of the movies is called Take Your Marks. So I wonder if the Take Your Marks movie is them going to, like, their first college tournament. That could be interesting. I don't know. Oh, guys. So there is a lot of free content out there. There is a lot of free stuff to watch. And I'm trying to sort through it all. Obviously, before we even get to season 3, we have to watch Starting Days. We have to watch Take Your Marks. Because I've been told there's a lot of things we can watch, like OVAs, things like that. But plot-wise, I have to see Starting Days and I have to see Take Your Marks, because they will have things that will tie into the plot of season 3. But next week, before we get to Starting Days, before we get to Take Your Marks, I have been told that there's an OVA that is tied directly to season 2. And I've been told it's hilarious and that I need to watch it. So that's what we're going to do. Next week, we are doing the season 2 OVA for free. I'm still debating I'm still trying to find a couple things that might sandwich in between that OVA and the Starting Days movie. I'm still trying to find a couple things, but at least know that regardless of what I find out here for free, we're at least doing the OVA, Starting Days, and Take Your Marks at least. I've found that there's an episode 0 that happens before Dive to the Future, but Funimation only has it in English dub. Why? I cannot find the English sub of it anywhere. And I've searched on YouTube. I have searched. Funimation doesn't have it. Crunchyroll doesn't have it. I'm like, where am I going to find this? So, heads up, guys. If you guys know, if you have a link to the season 3, episode 0 in Japanese with English subs, please send me a link to it in the comments down below or in the next couple of weeks so I can find it and watch it before we start season 3. That would be awesome, because I don't want to watch the dub because we've not watched the dub this whole show, and it's gonna be weird if we do that. So if you guys could find and send me a link to the English sub of episode 0, y'all would be my heroes, because I've tried looking like the last couple of days and I can't find it at all. I can't find it. I can find a preview trailer and I can find the English dub, but I can't find the original Japanese. And I'm like, come on now. And I was even going to buy the whole season 3, but it's not even on the Blu-ray. So I'm like, what are we doing free? Give me my content so I can watch it. So, but if you do find that, please let me know. But otherwise, yeah, next week, the OVA, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I've heard it's great. I'm ready. Usually OVAs are kind of fan servicey, so I'm like, I need this. But guys, this season finale was amazing. I loved so much about it. My face started to hurt because I was smiling so much. I was physically smiling so hard that my face was starting to hurt. That's when you know it's a good show. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so excited to see your comments down below. Please no season 3 spoilers, but I'm ready to dive into these extra things with Free before we even get to season 3. So, yes, please. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I will be back soon with more Free. Bye.